Today we are going to tackle the basics of Mechanism because this is a very in-depth mod, but it's very popular and it's a really great mod. It's one of my favorites. But we're going to start off with the ores here. And Mechanism adds 3 ores to the game along with all the other ores. You got osmium ore, osmium ingot, and then copper, and then tin. So those are the main ores it adds, but you're going to mainly be using osmium for most of the recipes. And the first thing that you're going to want to make is a metallurgic infuser. This is pretty basic. It's very fundamental, and you're going to use it throughout the entire time you do Mechanism. It's got a simple crafting recipe. You just get osmium ingot, 2 furnaces, some iron, and some redstone, and you got that. Now you will need a way to power it, and depending on what mod pack you're in, you can use furnace generators, whatever. But later on down the road, we'll get to the power sources. But fundamentally, you're going to want to get small little bits of power. It's not hard if you're in a mod pack. Just like a furnace generator or a dynamo from some mod. But now we're going to get on to these 3 aspects here. Now with the metallurgic infuser, you have this little slot right here. And let me show you what that does. Here, let me make it day. Okay, so in this slot, you can either put redstone or coal or a variety of other things, but basically you're going to want to start off with redstone or coal, and we're going to put coal in here. So you put a bunch of coal in here, it sucks it up, and 1 coal will give you 10 carbon here. So 10 you need is basically a 1-to-1 ratio, so you can use it for one thing. Really? Okay. So to start off, you're going to want to make steel because it's pretty fundamental. You're going to want steel for everything. All 3 of these little circuits here, you're going to want for it all. So you have carbon, and you just put iron in here. Real simple. Put an iron ingot in there, and it'll do it when it has power. It'll just go. And it takes up the carbon here. So now you have this enriched iron, right? This thing right here. Start from iron ingot, go here. And then all you want to do is put it in again with carbon in there. Just put it in there again. And it does make noise. Let me show you. I turn the noise down because it does get pretty annoying. Okay. So now we have a steel dust. And basically all you want to do with the steel dust, you just plop it in the furnace, cook it however you want, and it gives you a steel ingot. See? So now we have a steel ingot. So that's that. Now we got to move on here. And this one, you're going to want to put redstone in. See, depending on what item you put in here is what item you get in here. So I still put a piece of iron in just like I did here. But instead of coal, I'm going to put redstone in this one. And as you can see, it fills it up with redstone. It'll show you right here, and it'll fill up this bar. Oh, this one does not have power. Hold on. So now this is powered. We have our redstone in here. Now let's go ahead and put the iron in here. And this is the noise it makes. It's pretty loud. See, I can go a couple blocks back, and I can still hear it. It's not quiet. So now we have an enriched alloy right here. And you're gonna need a lot of these throughout Mechanism crafting things. So if you want to make a whole bunch of them, I would suggest it. And then here, we can put some more redstone in here, but instead of an iron, we're going to put an osmium ingot. And that'll get us a circuit. So this machine, you'll use it for the whole game, basically. You can configure it here. Most of the time, unless you want to automate it, it's pretty simple. It'll input, output, it'll tell you what's what. And then if you do only have one of these, which usually you will, and you want to switch out, say you have too much carbon and you want to get rid of it, you just hit the dump button here. It doesn't dump the power, it just dumps what's in here. So now I can put redstone in here. See, it has 10 redstone. But I can't put carbon in, you see? So you have to dump it to be able to put other things in it. So now we have a circuit here. Just like that, we have a steel. Those are pretty much the 3 basic things you're going to need. You're going to need a lot of steel, a lot of these too also. Now we're going to move on to power, because before we start making more machines and stuff, we're going to need some kind of power source, right? And here, you're going to need some cables. If you decide to do mechanism power source, which I would suggest because these windmills are great. Windmill. So it's very simple, just redstone, and that it'll give you eight of these. And then you can upgrade these later on, but that's for a different tutorial. And then you're going to want to make windmills. There are, let me show you. MEK. There are solar panels like this. But these, oops. The solar panels are a lot more difficult to craft. There's just more recipes involved and more machines and stuff. And I would just suggest going with the wind turbines because they're very simple. So all you need is 3 osmium ingots, 1 enriched alloy, a regular circuit, basic circuit, and then 2 of these, which these are easy. This will get you 1 here, 2 enriched alloys, and some gold. And then you'll have a windmill. And this one windmill can probably power 5 or 6 machines. But you can obviously make as many as you want. And this is how it works. You're going to want to put the cable in the front of the windmill right here. You see there will be a green thing. If you try to put it on the back or the sides or anything, it won't connect. And then you can just run the cable as far as you want into your machines and it'll give it power. So now that we have a little power source, we can get into the machines part. And for every machine that you do in Mekanism, you're going to need a steel casing. And the steel casing's, again, very simple. There's a lot of recipes in this mod, but really the recipes are easy once you know them. So you need a steel casing, which is just steel and the osmium ingot. Sorry if I'm moving too fast, I'm trying not to make the video too long here. And the first machine you're going to want to make is an enrichment chamber. So what an enrichment chamber does, so you just need some redstone, 2 of these circuits from that machine. And what this does is it takes a piece of whatever you have. So let's grab some redstone here. Say we have just a regular piece of redstone, right? And if we go into this metallurgic infuser and we put it in, it gives us 10 redstone, right? So that's only enough for 1 item. So let's dump it. Then we'll go back in here and grab 1. But if we put it in the enrichment chamber with power, it'll make a weird noise. And then it has a compressed redstone, and you can do this with coal, you can do this with diamonds, you can do this with a bunch of other items, but for the purposes right now, you're just going to want to do it with coal or redstone. And basically now, if we put it in here, it'll give us 100. So it's just a way to maximize your output. Instead of using 10 redstone, you can just use 1 redstone. And the same goes for coal. Gives 100 carbon. So this machine is very important for maximizing your resources. And the next thing we're going to want to make is a crusher. So to make a crusher, you just need another casing here. Some of these circuits, lava buckets, very simple. And obviously you're going to want to give it power again. And have the obsidian. You go ahead and go to the enrichment chamber here. And you just put it in here. Put as many as you want. We're just going to make 1 for now. And it'll go ahead and do that. So now you have obsidian dust, just regular obsidian dust. So now what you want to do is, this is where the enrichment chamber does come into play, because you can put a regular diamond in here, or you can compress it with the enrichment chamber and basically get 10 times the output. So you want to go ahead and put this in here, and then you just put the dust right in here. And now you have a refined obsidian dust. They're different. Refined obsidian dust, this one's a little bit lighter. And then you want to go to this osmium compressor that we just made. And you just want to put the refined dust in here with some osmium. You do have osmium in here, and see it uses it, liquefies it. And then you get your refined obsidian ingot. And these things are absolutely great. The tools that you can make from them are phenomenal. Let me show you here. Armor, This armor is better than diamond, like, it's a lot better than diamond. If you can make this armor, you're going to want to. 1200 or 2500 durability, 12 attack damage on a pickaxe, if that gives you any indication. And then they're just phenomenal. The sword does 14 damage. So this is really going to help you out if you can go ahead and make all of these. And obviously the mod gets more in depth. There's jetpacks, there's digital miners, there's a bunch of other things, flamethrowers. But this is just really the basics to get you started. Knowing these recipes is really going to help you out. And yeah, if you want to see any more in-depth or an advanced tutorial, just let me know.